roots. Men prepared their hunting tools. The air was calm, the light golden. Then, the grass near the river moved. A quiet hiss broke the silence. A flash of golden scales, and in an instant, a snake attacked. A scream echoed through the trees. People jumped, shouting and throwing stones. The snake fell still, and so did the tribe. They stared at it, the shining body, the lifeless eyes, and something ancient began to grow in their hearts. Fear. That moment changed humankind forever. From that day, the human brain learned to remember the shape of the serpent. The brain learned to see danger before it struck, to notice movement, pattern, and silence. Fear became not weakness, but protection. When night came, they gathered around a fire. The orange light danced on their faces as they whispered about the snake. The fire gave them warmth, but also courage. They began to tell stories about the creature that moved like water and killed like lightning. And from those stories, the human mind began to grow. It learned imagination. Soon, fear turned into curiosity. The people started to watch snakes closely. They saw how the snake shed its skin and came out new. And they wondered, could this be a sign of life starting again? Could death lead to rebirth? In time, people began to respect snakes. They saw that snakes controlled the balance of nature, keeping rats and pests away, keeping ecosystems alive. They learned that snake venom, once a killer, could become medicine, that something deadly could also heal. The snake had always been both, destroyer and savior, danger and wisdom. And maybe that's why it appears in every human story, from the Bible's garden to modern science. It never truly left us. Today, we look at snakes through glass in museums or on glowing screens. We film them, study them, admire their movement. That same ancient motion that once made our ancestors tremble. The fear has softened, but the memory remains. When you see a snake sliding through grass, notice its grace. Notice the way it moves without sound, how its body catches the sunlight like living metal. Remember that it watched our kind rise from caves to cities. It saw us learn fire, words, and flight. It was here before us, and it will remain after us. Because the serpent does not hurry. It does not change. It endures. We, the noisy ones, who build and destroy and rebuild, we still carry the serpent inside our mind. That deep reminder that fear can be wisdom, that danger can teach. At the end of every age, the fire still burns. The stars above us are the same ones that shone on our ancestors' nights. The serpent still moves across the earth, silent and patient. And in its eyes, if you look closely, you might see a reflection of yourself. A creature still learning, still afraid, still alive. Because long before gods and kings, before science and stories, there was only the earth, the fire, and the serpent.
Looking calm and safe. A little brown pet dog followed its owner, who had come to collect firewood near the riverbank. The dog ran happily, chasing butterflies and barking at small crabs crawling in the sand. To anyone watching, it looked like a normal day, but in the river, danger was hiding. A large crocodile lay still under the surface. Only its eyes and nose were above water. It had been waiting for hours, watching every movement along the bank. Crocodiles are patient hunters, and this one had noticed the playful dog. The dog, not aware of the danger, went closer to the water. It sniffed at the ground, wagging its tail, and stepped forward to drink. Suddenly, the water broke with a huge splash. The crocodile shot out of the river like an arrow. Its massive jaws opened wide and closed around the dog in one powerful snap. The dog barked loudly and tried to fight, but it had no chance against the strength of the reptile. Within seconds, the crocodile turned back toward the water, dragging its prey along. The owner shouted in fear and threw sticks and stones, but it was useless. The crocodile slid under the surface, leaving only ripples on the water. The jungle grew quiet again. The dog, full of life just moments ago, was gone. In the Amazon, the river always hides hunters, and one small mistake near the bank can be fatal. Story 2. The Fisherman's Companion. A fisherman in the Amazon loved to take his pet dog with him whenever he went to check his fishing nets. The dog was loyal and never left his side. One morning, while the fisherman repaired his torn net, the dog wandered toward the river's edge. It sniffed the mud, barked at dragonflies, and then bent down to drink the cool water. The river looked calm, but danger was close. Just below the surface, a crocodile was hiding, waiting for the perfect moment. It had been watching the dog's movements carefully. Crocodiles are silent hunters, and when they strike, they move with shocking speed. Suddenly, with a burst of water, the crocodile rushed out. Its jaws snapped around the dog's body in an instant. The fisherman jumped up, shouting in panic. He grabbed a wooden stick and ran to the river, striking the water and throwing stones. But the crocodile had already turned back into the deep current, dragging the dog beneath. The fisherman screamed and cried, but there was nothing more he could do. The river grew calm again, as if nothing had happened. The loyal companion who always followed him to work was gone forever. For people living near the Amazon, the river is both a source of life and a place of hidden danger. One careless moment near the water can end in tragedy. Story 3. The Jungle Path. A family was walking with their dog on a narrow path near the Amazon swamp. The dog ran ahead, wagging its tail. Without warning, a crocodile rushed out from the mud. It opened its wide mouth and snapped at the dog. The dog tried to jump back, but the crocodile was too quick. It caught the dog and pulled it into the swamp. The family was left shocked and helpless. Story 4. The Midnight Attack. At night, a village dog went down to the river for a drink. The moonlight made the water shine. In silence, a crocodile was already waiting. As the dog bent down, the crocodile struck with a sudden splash. The dog yelped, but no one came in time. The crocodile dragged it away under the dark water, leaving only ripples behind. Story 5. The Playful Chase. The Amazon jungle was alive with sound that morning. Birds called from high branches, insects buzzed, and monkeys jumped between trees. Two pet dogs had followed their young owner, who was gathering fruits near a shallow stream. The dogs were playful, running in circles, chasing each other, and barking with excitement. Their tails wagged as they splashed through the wet sand along the bank. The jungle looked peaceful, but danger was close. In the stream, a huge crocodile was resting under the murky water. Only its eyes and nose showed above the surface, blending perfectly with the muddy ripples. Crocodiles are masters of patience. They wait silently, moving so little that no one notices them. This one had already spotted the dogs, and it was just waiting for the right moment to strike. The dogs barked and chased each other happily. One of them, a black and white dog, stepped into the water, splashing playfully. The other stayed on the sand, barking loudly as if cheering. At that very second, the crocodile moved. Its powerful tail pushed it forward with lightning speed. The water exploded with a loud splash. Before the dog could react, the crocodile opened its enormous jaws and clamped down with bone-crushing force. The dog yelped in terror, twisting and kicking, but the predator's grip was unbreakable. The second dog barked wildly, running back and forth in panic. It wanted to help but could only watch helplessly. The jungle suddenly went silent, as if even the birds understood what had happened. The crocodile dragged the struggling dog deeper into the water. The splashing slowed, then stopped. A few bubbles rose, and the surface grew calm once again. The young owner rushed toward the stream, shouting the dog's name, but it was too late. The crocodile had vanished into the depths with its prey. The other dog stood frozen, whining softly, staring at the water where its companion had disappeared. In the Amazon, play and danger live side by side. For the jungle's predators, one careless step is enough. For the two dogs, a happy game ended in tragedy, and the river kept its secret once more.
A morning in the Stone Age. The first light of the sun peeked over the mountains. Goma, a young hunter from the Stone Age, opened his eyes. He lived with his family in a cave near the forest. His mother splashed cold water on his face. She knew today was an important hunting day. Goma picked up his wooden spear and stone axe. He stepped outside the cave, ready to find food for his family. As he walked through the bushes, suddenly the ground moved. A big snake came out of the grass right in front of him. Goma quickly raised his spear, but the snake was too fast. It hissed and attacked. Goma had no choice. He ran and hid inside a nearby cave. But this cave was different. As Goma entered, it was completely dark. Suddenly, hundreds of bats flew from the ceiling with loud screeches. The sound and darkness made Goma panic. Then he heard something else, a deep growl. Some wild animal was inside too. This place is not safe, he thought. He quietly came out and moved back into the forest. Meanwhile, his brother Logo and friend Rama were also out hunting. They were all tired, chasing animals all day, but couldn't catch anything. Just before sunset, Logo finally hit a deer with his spear. Goma came running and finished the job. After all the struggle, they finally had food for their tribe. That night, the fire was warm, the children were dancing, and Goma sat next to his mother, smiling and eating meat. Another hard day had ended, but they had survived. They were happy together.
In the wild, survival is never guaranteed. Every day, predator and prey test their limits. And one of nature's most dramatic encounters is the fight between a hawk and a snake. Hawks are powerful raptors, known for their razor-sharp talons, hooked beaks, and eyesight nearly 8 times sharper than humans. From high above, a hawk can spot the slightest movement. A snake slithering through grass or basking in the sun. Once a target is locked, the hawk dives with incredible speed. Its strategy? To strike the snake by the head or neck, immobilizing it before it has a chance to strike back. Some hawks, like the brown snake eagle or the red-tailed hawk, are specialists at hunting serpents, even venomous ones. But snakes are not helpless. They defend themselves fiercely. Non-venomous snakes may coil around the hawk, constricting and twisting in a desperate attempt to break free. Venomous snakes strike with lightning speed, aiming their fangs at the hawk's legs or chest. In fact, scientists have recorded hawks that died from venomous bites during these battles. Sometimes the hawk drops its prey from the sky to stun it. Other times,
snake manages to escape, leaving both animals injured but alive. Each encounter is a raw display of nature's balance. Skill versus defense. Agility versus venom. And while the hawk often wins, the snake reminds us that every predator risks becoming prey. This is the untold story of survival.